Hi and welcome back to the next tutorial for the Machine Ultimate Pro Mapping. I am Frank Bash and we go now to the section where you can create your own remix decks. But first we have to set traktor properly up, and we will start over here with the loop recorder. First of all, 16-bit is a good starting point. It's a complete bar when you enable, for example, that means one bar is now here in traktor 16 beats. So we switched from the main part to the Q part. Why is this important? Because only the deck which is in Q, for example, we change it here on our mapping. So we now selected deck A and it's in Q, so only the loop recorder will record this deck, for example. So now down here in deck C, this deck we want to fill up with some loops or samples. In this case we take some loops from the loop recorder. So now this section over here, you see now we have only the possibility to select deck A and the loop recorder. And it's the same when you switch, for example, deck B to a track deck. You see down here you get deck B2 and the same for deck D here. So when you're in remix deck mode on all your 4 decks in traktor, you only can select the loop recorder down here. So, but it's very efficient. The next benefits of selecting the Q part here, you can set up the tick. I hope you can hear it now. It's the metronome here for traktor, and you can play some live samples exactly to the tick here over in traktor. Okay, but we want to use it only today by this part. So reduce the loudness here. Go to deck A, play deck A now. So you hear nothing. Okay, next step is to set up the syncing to the master clock. So we press the grid button on our machine. And now we want to use the sequencer. But first of all, you have to set up your sequencer to a pattern length of 16 beats. When you start traktors, always on 8 beats, because the S8 and the D2 only get 8 pads. So we get 16, so we change it to 16 and we repeat this step for all decks after we start traktor. Okay, you find this tab here on page 3 in loop global mode. Okay, now we go back to the A section or the mixer section over here and try some samples here in deck A. Now you see we have to reset our mixer. And now we got the clear beats. Okay. We take this one. Okay, next step. Start your sequencer. Sequencer A, B, C or sequencer D. We only want now the sequencer for deck A. Okay, go to the sequencer mode down here, sequencer mode deck A, and you see the lights are running, and we take a basic 4 to the floor. Stop the sequencer. Okay, the next part is we want to record this. You see my dry wet level for the loop recorder is down to 0, and you can change it by these two buttons. For example, you go up, and here you can go down with the volume for the loop recorder. The best experience is in a live situation. You have to kill it down to 0, but for this demo I will show it with some volume. Okay, now we start the sequence and record it to deck C. All we have to do is to press the record button here on the machine controller, and it will record this part here now. Yeah, okay, you can hear it. So we reduce the volume. Okay, you see this is a toggle button for play and stop, and the next step we will use after sending this loop to deck C is erase, but later more about this. Okay, now get the loop over here in the loop recorder, and we want to send it in deck C, so we go to deck C. Now you see we get some slots over here, and we want to take slot 1 for the bass. So you see we get now an empty remix deck. Okay, all you have to do is select the pad you want to fill up, or the cell you want to fill up, press the sampling button and press the slot button. And now you get your loop over here. Yeah, okay. So, next step. We want to play in sequencer A the clap, for example. So we go here to deck A. Second slot is the clap. Start a sequencer. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Erase the loop in the loop recorder. Start the sequence and do it again. Okay, you see now we get a kick loop and here a clap loop. Okay, the next step is to fill this part with hi-hat. So back to deck A, select the slot with the hi-hat. And don't forget to kill the clap when you only want to select down here special for the kicks, for the claps, and here for the hi-hats. Okay, now we're in sequencer mode A. And now you see we get the kick drum loop, the clap loop. Now it's time to add some variations. For example, we take this pad and go to sequencer A, and you see, okay, this loop is over here. So we start a sequencer. Okay, now you see we get the kick, clap, and a variation of the hi-hat. And we repeat the step for this slot and go to deck A, clear out the slot 2, sequencer mode, start a sequence. Stop it, load it to this cell, slot 2, sampling, and voila, here's our loop. Okay, fine. So you see, the best way to fill it up in a live situation with some variation of the selected loops, you add one sound. And for example, we do it now for the kick. So we get here the basic kick pattern and fill it up with some variation on this, and you see how fast you can be in a live situation, for example. So we stay here on slot 1 and go back to deck A in the page mode, switch to deck A, kill the slots. So this was for slot A the basic pattern, so we play it again. And we changed the 4 to the floor to some breakbeat style. And record it over here. You see now, I loaded to the wrong deck. Okay, no problem. Okay, so the loop is still in the recorder, and we press play. change to C, select this one, and we get it over here. So stop deck A, go to deck C, and now we try it out. Yeah, and here at the end, a quick tip to play some sounds live and you need a metronome. The easiest way is to press the sampling button and the play button, and you hear that your metronome or the tick in traktor is running, and when it's running and your cue point, or sorry, your cue button is activated, you can now play your sounds live to the cue. So we hold the sampling button, press play, and we get now the tick, and we can play some bass. See you next time. Have fun with this mapping, and if you want, you can follow me on Facebook, here on YouTube, or on Twitter, or subscribe to my podcast at fbc.frankbash.com. See you soon. Bye bye.